Back to the Marty's pre-show. I'm your host, Randy Persaud. We've got tons of nominees that we're going to be showcasing here in this broadcast. Another competitor that's going to be competing for the Emerging Performing Arts Award that's happening at the 21st Annual MARTY Awards on May 7th at the Living Arts Center. He is a solo musician. His name is Matt Zakovich. Did I got it right? Zakovich. There we go. Matt, thank you so much for being here.
Happy to be here.
Now, you started off, you did 6 tours across the United States and Canada in a band called starring Janet Leigh.
That's right.
And now you've moved on into a solo career. Explain just some of the discoveries that you've had in moving from a band scenario into a solo scenario, and what kind of revelations that you've started to discover now that you didn't realize that were important to recognize in a band.
Well, in a band scenario, you're never solely the center of attention, you know, and I wasn't the front man for that group. As a solo artist, the attention's all on you all the time, so you have to engage the audience, you need to be able to keep them engaged.
Right. And what inspired you to go break out and go solo?
Originally, what my plan was when I ended that band was actually to put out a solo release along that genre. I was playing in a progressive metal band at the time, but I was doing I started doing a lot of acoustic performances, and these songs just started pouring out of me. So I said, you know, follow your heart. So that literally was what it was, of just following my heart.
Now you've moved over into acoustic now. How has that style of music molded you now to be the solo artist that you are today?
Well, as a music lover and as a musician in general, I never ever played one style of music. I was always playing blues, jazz, metal, a variety of acoustic styles. And as far as what I've been writing, I haven't tried to put a name on it. I just write, and whatever comes out, comes out. It's all kind of fallen into somewhere between, I guess, folk and R&B and acoustic rock, I guess.
Right.
But I'd say each song has its own individual feel. The only commonality was probably my voice.
Exactly. Now, and where do you draw your themes from? Where do you get your motivation, your inspiration to write in terms of subject matter?
In terms of subject matter, it could be everything from the times I spent on the road in my 20s. This was really a musical reinvention of myself because of where I had been and where I was going. So a lot of it is about that. I mean, we went through some good times and bad times with the last group that I was in, so part of it was rediscovering myself as a musician, as a solo artist.
Now, coming back, you just mentioned that you've been on tour, you've been on the road, and being on the road is such a hard life. You're away from your family and your friends, and there's just so many different dynamics being on the road that you don't have the luxuries of having when you're at home.
Certainly not.
But when you you find yourself coming back full circle back to Mississauga, and you're going to be at the MARTY Awards with your nomination. When you realized that you got the nomination, what was the first moment? What was the first thing that came to your mind when you were awarded the nomination to compete?
Well, I wasn't really planning on entering the MARTYs this year, and when someone said to me, "I'd really like to nominate you," I was flattered.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I do a lot of work locally in the music community. I do play 3 to 5 nights a week, mostly in Peel region. So for somebody to say, "No, I think you deserve this," that was it felt really good. It was great.
You know, every band has a great dive bar that they performed at. There's a place that had some character that really gave them some soul. What would that one place be for you?
It depends what you mean. In the city or everywhere?
Everywhere.
Everywhere? I'm going to say in the city first because we are in Mississauga. My place that I perform at the most that I have has kind of become my musical home in the last little while in Streetsville's Coo Collins Irish Bar.
Right. And what does that do for you?
I'd say a lot of my inspiration came from there when I started hosting a series of open mic jam nights. I host 3 a week right now. And I got to interact with a lot of Mississauga's music community there, and we've had a lot of fun, and I met a lot of great people there.
If you had to mention 2 or 3 of your heroes that inspired you in your music, who would they be and why?
That's a big list. I'll try to stick close. I'll try to stick close to what I'm playing right now. I would say Neil Young, for one. A huge Neil Young fan. Big John Mayer fan, and I'll go with another Canadian, Lenny Breau.
If you had to pick a place, what would that place be that you've penned your best song, and why was that place very special, where you got the idea?
That is a very, very tough question. I find it, musically, most of my ideas come from me just kind of slinging a guitar, and I'm in a certain set of circumstances.
Or in the shower.
Well, I'm a driving guy. I get lyrical ideas behind the wheel, and I have to talk myself into pulling over to write it down. Some of my favorite songs that I've written was something had happened. You know, whether it was some kind of an event or some kind of conflict where all of a sudden I'm driving and I'm thinking, I'm like, better pull this over and pen this down before I forget it. Most of my writing from a lyrical standpoint is stream of consciousness. I'll get down a whole series of ideas that are just coming at me at one time, and then I'll edit it later.
Well, good luck to you at the Martys this year. We're going to see you on the red carpet, and we'll see you guys on the red carpet for the 21st annual Martys happening at the Living Arts Center on May 7th. See you there.